Hi all, welcome back to more DD at Peleliu. This is my take two part 9. Okay, I've been missing in action for the last 3 days actually. Last 2 days of work, Wednesday, Thursday. Didn't really, yeah, I was in a late-ish. Well, I thought maybe might go up on the Wednesday night, but. And then I had a golf day yesterday, Friday, so that was pretty much taking up all of the day and came back, I was knackered, pretty much went straight to bed to be honest. So that's me off work now for a good bit. Still not sure if I'm going away doing anything, but so I should have a bit of time to be playing some games. And well, we're still heavily into this. So yeah, there are a few things to talk about. Well, I left things with this sort of dilemma regarding again this whole issue with position group, position hex, regarding the advance with the tank action and also a redeploy action. And this is the bit that kind of brought it back up to me again. I thought, what am I doing here? I'm getting confused again. So I had messaged Martin. He's not replied to any of the video footage up to now, but that, I'm not saying it's hard work watching my videos through. So, but what the message I got back from him, because I sent him a message as well, sort of answers my questions. Although I was looking over it again today, and it kind of threw me another little wobbly that I was going to message him back and say, have you changed your thinking on this? But again, he starts by saying he hasn't received any response yet from Mr. Butterfield regarding trying to clear this up. And he carries on, he says, when you redeploy, you can do it to an unoccupied position hex and in an otherwise occupied position group. This is also what was said in the DT Tarawa thread, and yes, that's what was said, but because of that, it made you just wonder about the wording. So yes, we are entitled to redeploy this guy from here to redeploy him from here to here, because this is an empty position hex. But I'll see as soon as you bring that in, just let me take you back to the very wording. And I'm wondering if Martin's changed his tune on this, or if I'm just picking things up wrong. The very first wording on the advance action for the tank, I didn't want to start going into this again. If no US units are in the tank's field of fire, move the tank unit and depth marker, if any, to a position hex that is unoccupied or occupied by a non-armour Japanese unit. Okay. I think I can see what's, because that's saying it could go unoccupied. See, I'm getting myself all messed up with this now. I really think I'm going to leave this, and if we do get some word back, it sort of makes me want to feel like this redeploy action should be exactly the same as the advance action. When I say exactly the same, Martin does highlight the fact that he does highlight the fact that when you do the advance, he says you do the same as above here, and that's what I'm thinking. Well, what, you do the same as above? Like, this can move to this occupied, but it can't it? If it's occupied, it can move to it and it can change places with it. But in this case, if this was a tank doing this right now, it might well move to this hex, but that wouldn't stay there, would it? That would then change places with it. And like he highlights, he says the bit that he made further on in my comment was, the important part is that it prefers, as a tank doing the advance action, its preference is to an empty position first. But then again, okay. Oh, it's a headache, all this. It really is. Yeah, I can see how redeploy is quite a bit different though, because redeploy doesn't change places. Right, okay. I'm really starting to struggle a bit with this myself. Well, have been for a while now, really, wouldn't I? So, and then he carries on, when you do the advance, you do the same as above, but unlike the redeploy action, you prefer to move to a non-occupied position. And he said, I would swap position with the Japanese infantry unit, even if the tank doesn't move to the same hex in the position group. So he's answered without, this was before whether he's seen the video footage or not, he's answered my question here. And I kind of thought this would be his answer, that if we move this tank, have we moved the tank already? We have, haven't we? That was silly, Grant. Have I made the move of the unit? Because the tank's sitting in this position. No, hang on. Yeah, I have, haven't I? This was down here, wasn't it? That was silly. I should have put it back to what it was. But, to be honest, this is the outcome, and this is what Martin was saying would have been, that's how he would have played it. So this tank was in this green position here, and this infantry was in this hex here. So the tank moved from here to here because that's his preference, staying closer to where it came from, and then the infantry is in there. So he's saying, I would swap position with the Japanese infantry unit, even if the tank doesn't move to the same hex in the position group. So that's what's happening. This tank is moving. Why did I move that? Hang on. Okay, so just putting things back to what they were. I just went and double checked there just in case I had made a mess of things. Then, yeah, the dilemma was this will advance. It's not got an empty position it can advance into, so this is going to be an occupied position, but then it'll trade places. But although some people, or probably most people, might think it's got to move there to trade places with it, its preference is it wants to stay as closer to the hex that it moved from. So tends to make you think that that's what happened, and I think this is what Martin's saying, and then it's still got to change places with us, even though it's not moving into the exact hex. So then it would then come back to there as we had it before when I hit record there. So yeah, that's what's going to happen there, which was I thought was kind of devastating for us, because this was sitting here and we were getting an attack, even though this had got disrupted. Yeah, things were pretty bad all around, but I have realised that I can actually move into this position now. So maybe there's something that can come from that. Okay, so, and then it seems clear enough that redeploy doesn't care the fact that this position group is occupied. This is an empty position hex. The thing is, when you talk about it there, I just talking about it elsewhere, I kind of hope something comes back and says, yeah, what was the other bits I was going to look up? Because it specifically says, hang on. Yeah, sorry, this was a bit, it was an errata, so it's probably in the most up-to-date rulebook, which, like I say, I only have in digital form. A position group is considered unoccupied if none of its hexes are occupied by Japanese units and at least one of its hexes is not occupied by US units. But why use the word position group there, and why it doesn't stay with that throughout? Because for the reinforce action, it says unoccupied position in Japanese. The thing is, it still needs to go to a position hex, doesn't it? Oh, come on, Grant. Come on, just stop it. Anyway, it clearly says it's an unoccupied position. So if you're reinforcing, we can't. If there's a blue R, we're within 3 of it. If this was a blue R in this case, this wouldn't reinforce because it's occupied, and it's the same with muster, isn't it? Now, what I was wondering was, is it the same? And I don't think it is. See the tactical reinforcements, and also the actual reinforcement event. What's the wording on that? Until I find it. Yeah, it's going to come under Rule 9, isn't it? So, where are we? Japanese tactical reinforcements triggered by a depth marker. So if you get a depth marker that says tactical reinforcements, it says a Japanese reinforcement unit enters play when you reveal a depth marker reading tactical reinforcement. When this happens, immediately conduct the following: remove the depth marker from play, Draw a unit from a Japanese reserve pool and place it in the unoccupied position hex nearest to the position from which you remove the depth marker. Yeah, and then it's got a couple of preferences, but that's saying unoccupied position hex. So that is a candidate for that right now as well, because it's saying position hex. Right, and then the other one was if you're placing the reserve unit placement triggered by a reinforcement event. And an empty Japanese position hex and communication. So again, that's the same case there. So I think for the reinforce action, this wouldn't apply. The muster action, this wouldn't apply. If it was a tactical reinforcement depth marker, this would apply. If it was a reinforcement event, this would apply. If it was the redeploy action, this would apply. And then I think if this was the tank advance action, and we were talking this being a tank, then this may apply if there was no any other unoccupied hexes for it to move to, and then it would switch places with that. And it could potentially move to this hex or this hex, depending on which one met the priority, which would be closer to that first, and then it might come down to numbers. So it might be that it actually moves to this hex, switches positions, or moves to this hex, and that still changes positions. That's what I'm going with for now. That's what I'm going with for now, because yeah, it's just I need to move on from that, and I can't seem to get away from it, to be honest. So, and then unfortunately, winding back, I was going to go and look at the video footage, but I'm pretty sure I can remember. So this would have reinforced. And I think it's going to fire and kill something, isn't it? So it would have reinforced to here. Oh, where's the... Well, the fire card should still be there, Grant. That's a fire card. So it must have been a green position that was moving, yeah? No, that's yellow. I moved on. Or was it this that was going to advance? I could have sworn it was that position. But it's green that's got the R on it, the fire card. I mean, this, maybe it is this position then, I've just marked the wrong one. Because if we got the green R, it's at the moment 1, 2, 3, 4 away from its nearest US unit, and then there it'd be 3 away. Yeah, it must be this position after all. I must have marked the wrong one. I still feel the need to go back and... Oh, hang on. Oh, Grant, that's the event. Oh, that's the event card. Why did I think that was the fire card? First event card, it says. There's a fire card there. You can see it as the yellow R. Yeah, Japanese fire card. It is the yellow R's. I was right. Yellow R in the tank. That tank moved from the green position. Oh, come on. How can that be? There's not a green... There's not a green action... There's no green action on the fire card, Grant. Just coming back to the tank now. Because it was here, wasn't it? It's just green firing. Wait, give me a minute. Right, sorry. you all know what the issue there is. I'm just thinking about it wrongly. Looking for a lettered action. This is a tank in a green position. Sorry, let's just quickly put this back. This is a tank that's in a green position. Now this green position has just the star icon on it, but however tanks follow different rules as we know, and the default is, so a tank activated by a position colour without a lettered action or with the I action performs a fire or advance action. So it would fire if it's got units in its field of fire, It does not have units in its field of fire. So then it would advance and it would do what we've said it would do. Okay, so that is correct. Sorry, I'm just getting totally messed up. So, and then this indeed was the yellow redeploy action. It would have came down here. And then one of the mistakes that was being made quite a lot. I watched back a lot more footage of Lockdown Gaming's playthrough, and I'm almost through the second one. Wow, he gets some good stuff going, really. Obviously, you need the luck in this game. I'm not quite at the end. I'm on part 19, I want to say. And he's doing amazingly well. I want to say probably is going to come out with a victory in this, which is really impressive. But, I mean, yeah, there have been a lot of mistakes that have actually been made in both these playthroughs. Martin commented on a lot of them. I didn't think Martin was following along the second one, and then eventually made a comment because the guy, he tried to barrage and attack. Was it barrage and attack, or was it attack and close combat? It was one of the ones you can't do, I can't remember. And Martin commented on that. One of the things he got wrong quite a lot throughout the playthrough was redeploying, then not firing, and also reinforcing and not firing. So, and then I'm noticing towards the end of things here, one of the biggest ones he was getting wrong that was hurting himself was the machine gun fire. He was stretching it out beyond the steady fire, and it only stretches out beyond intense fire, and that was hurting himself early on in I think his first playthrough. The big one that he was getting was mortar fire and artillery fire was disrupting his units. So I mean, all they three things are really going against him. So it's not that everything he was doing wrong was going against the Japanese. He was getting they were pretty huge. His second playthrough, I think Martin eventually got it through to him that, or whether maybe I didn't read the comments before, that mortar fire and artillery fire does not disrupt. So he didn't do that in the second playthrough. One of the ones though that he carried, that he'd done near the end, which really, yeah, I mean, I think makes it's a huge sort of mistake. But you know what? It's a horrible rule. I think everybody that sees this rule, and I was looking into it. Hang on, just before I carry on with this, let us get, see this blue. It was firing. What is it firing with a circle? It's that guy on top, isn't it? He's gone. Blue fire into there. He was a circle. That's the only hex blue fires in there. It doesn't go in there. So this guy, because he redeployed and then fired, so he's gone. So that's another catastrophic loss. That's also a 9, which is kind of scary. Oh, it is. God, 10, what is that? 12. 12's the limit. We're on the edge here again, aren't we? And I'll tell you, well, we'll come to that in a minute. Anyway, going back to the mistake that he sort of made towards the end, quite a bit up to now, what I've seen as the old... And here's a thing here, Martin, or for anybody else, is this rule within Tarawa as well? Because I looked at the rulebook for Tarawa, and I've looked at the rulebook for Peleliu. Now, in my rulebook, hold on, let me get this right. In my rulebook, because this has been, and it's in the addenda. No, it's not that one. What is it? 8 point something. Oh, where are we? 8.66 as right. 8.66 in my rulebook basically just says. 8.66 in my rulebook says Japanese survivors. Japanese units and death markers that survive a close combat remain revealed. That's all it says, right? Well, in the more up-to-date version of the rules that you can download from the website, or you can just look at this addenda, which was what was it changed to. Now this is an adjustment, admittedly. Oh, this was an adjustment? Hang on, I'm looking at the wrong bit. It's not an adjustment at all. It's a clarification, I think. Yeah, it is a clarification. So it wasn't an adjustment, right? Take that back. 8.66. So this is what was sorry, that was clarified. And this is what 8.66 says in the new rulebook, if you go and look at the more up-to-date rulebook. And it's a horrible rule. I'm not quite sure it was necessary. I get the feeling some people deliberately not play with this rule. However, I walked down... Eric, his name's Eric. I found out he mentioned his name at one point. So, Eric... he, up to now anyway, I'm up to turn 19, so there's only 24 turns, so he's not far away. So my guess is he's going to... Martin leaves a comment at the end of the playthrough, I think, as well. And it is a horrible rule, and like I say, I don't see why they needed to do it this way. I think it would have been fairer not to have this. Right, so what is it? Well, maybe you've read it yourself there. Japanese unit becomes disrupted by close combat during the Japanese action phase, becomes undisrupted at the end of that phase if in a position hex of a colour shown on the current Japanese fire card. Right? Now, if you maybe didn't follow that, let's just say, well, we don't have the A action in yet, right? But when the A action comes into play, a lot of these units are going to assault. So let's just say we've got a green A right now, then this unit is within 3 of this unit. It's going to come, okay, there's 2 choices here. Whatever one, he's going to come in close combat. He's going to come from there, boom, right in there, close combat us. We go and carry out a close combat right away. We deal the cards and whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's some... No, forget that. I was thinking about that counter-attack stuff. No, but this is just a normal advance action, right? So then once that's finished, now, whether the Japanese unit wins, well, if it loses, it's dead, right? But if it wins, or if it's exhausted by, if it ends by exhaustion, or if it ends by us withdrawing, it'll move back to this hex. Now, when you finish close combat, you put everybody gets disrupted. No, not technically true. Actually, hold on, Grant. If we had chosen withdraw, like Martin pointed out to me, if the combat ends by US withdrawal, nobody gets disrupted. If it ends by exhaustion or defeat, for that purpose, and only one of them would get disrupted by defeat. But if it ends by exhaustion, both parties get disrupted. Well, what that rule is saying now, that remember, for this to have carried out the advance action in the first place, green was on the fire card. So at the end of the fire card now, at the end of the Japanese fire phase, green's on the card, so this becomes undisrupted again. And it's like cruel. It's just cruel, and it's not necessary. And why they do it that way, I don't know. However, Eric's been playing that throughout, not doing that, not undisrupting them, leaving them disrupted up to now. And there was a huge Japanese fire where lots of things advanced, lots of things were disrupted, and he left the disruptions on them. So it's it's a kind of big one there. There was quite I watch, and there's quite a few other errors, but don't get me wrong, you're not going to go through this game not make errors. I'm recording it along here. Hopefully, folk are pointing out. Folk have pointed out a couple of things. The withdrawal, disrupting units after withdrawal, that was wrong. Martin got me with that one. Some other things, I did move the tank unit wrong that time. I think I've been able to fix everything, but it's sometimes hard to fix everything, especially if you move on. His videos are that quick that he's just been moving on a bit and then maybe not picking up these errors. But he's clearly not aware of this one, or doesn't want to be aware of it, because it is a nasty rule. Which brings me to, and I'll leave this question in here at the 24.5 minute mark. Is this rule the same in DD at Tarawa? Because I'm looking in the rule book, there's nothing in the rule book, and there doesn't seem to be anything in the addenda, or errata or whatever it is, because there was an errata document. It's not quite as long. I think it's only just over a page long. But I can't see anything in the rules at all that says that after, if a Japanese unit is disrupted in the Japanese fire phase, and its colours on the card, at the end of that phase, the disruption should be removed. However, although it's not said there in the rules, if you remember, this was just a clarification to clarify that at the end of in the steps. Let's see. In fact, does it not have it up here? Yeah, let's just right in the middle of there it's there. So we do, for the Japanese fire phase, first step is fire checks, Japanese actions begin turn 3. Second step, artillery fire checks. Third step, disruption removal. So see, when the Japanese units are disrupted, they're disrupted in that first step in A. And the same in Tarawa. They'll be disrupted there. Then you'll do artillery checks. Then you'll check the colours on the cards to see any Japanese unit that's disrupted with these colours, the disruption gets removed. So it doesn't really need to be written in the rules. I think they just wanted to highlight it in that as a clarification, because people are like, well, that's not fair, I suppose. And it's not fair, really, but... So, anyway, that's another one. But I'll tell you what, watch this guy's videos. If you're interested in this game at all, absolutely watch his strategy. It looks like it's working, and I wish I had watched a bit more of it before I tried to even attempt this. He ignores this. His first playthrough, he goes for this, and he does pretty well, to be honest. But the second playthrough, like I say, he talks about going up and trying to grab some of these double victory points, if you like. That's what he's calling them, because right enough, for each one of these C's or D's that you take, it negates you needing an A or a B. So it doubles it up, it makes, that counts as 2 A's or an A and a B just by taking that one. So you can see that if you grab 1, 2, 3, 4 up the back there, maybe 5, 6 of them, then that counts for 12. Well, there's that one there as well, yeah. So he's doing really well, and I get the feeling he's going to actually come out with a victory, because he's doing really well. Okay, mistakes are in there. Yeah, Nini admitted himself. There was one he noticed himself. Was it a close combat? It was around this area somewhere. You know what? I can't remember. He noticed it after the fact and had to just accept that things had moved on, and he could, that was that. Sometimes you get to that point where you can't fix it. He does try and fix most of the things, but there was quite a few things slipping through. I thought, after all. But then I'm a perfectionist. Some people don't care so much about that, and if he does get a victory at the end of it, he may well be going to call it a victory. And you know what? It's a really hard game, so why not? Why not chalk it down as that? Because you can't look back on everything and say, oh well, you made that little mistake back then. Depends how bad it is. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable calling it a victory, but then that's me. I'm never going to get to that anyway. But it's encouraging me more to try keep at this a bit more, and maybe even, set this up again when I'm finished. And I thought about maybe just setting it up and not hitting record and just trying to move things about quickly and just try things. But I think a lot of it still boils down to the cards, at the timing of the cards that you get, the colours that you get. Like I say, this Eric's doing. He's just had I don't think he can believe it himself. The last 2 Japanese fire phases, or maybe in the last 2 or 3 turns, have just really, really went well for him. And you definitely need that in this game, don't you? So yeah. Tell me if that rule is within Tarawa or if it's not for some reason. I mean, it doesn't say either. I can see in the rules, so which tells me that it is the same rule. It's still there, and I think it would apply in Tarawa, because Tarawa has an assault action as well, doesn't it? I think. Okay, 30 minutes and you've done nothing. Who would have thought? Okay, was there anything else? Oh yeah, one of the other things, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get. I think I might have to look this up or find out more about this. Looking at the sequence of play, and this was another thing I wrote down because I wasn't sure that Eric was doing it right or not. And it was when you're placing garrisons. Now the sequence of play says, where am I? Oh, Japanese fire from where am I? Aye, second event HQ phase. So it starts turn 8. Sequence of play, and it says 1. Place garrison markers in eligible position hexes within command range of a US command post. See 14.4. So if I jump, yeah, and 14.4 just says during the US action HQ phase, you may place garrison markers position hexes meeting all the following requirements. Right, I'm not going to go through the requirements. So to be honest, it doesn't say it there. And then number 2, and the reason I'm saying 1-2 is because the sequencing's important here. It then says convert regimental HQ unit to command posts and increase the command range of previously established command posts. See 40.1. Whoops. Oh, that was close. Right, hang on a second. Right, that was a bit wobbly. And again, just looking up, just saying skip on turn 1 to 7. Place increase HQ command post. Place garrison markers. Oh well, there you go. I tell you what, that's got that the other way about, hasn't it? It has. So, is it possible that this doesn't matter what order you do it in? And the reason I say is because what he had been doing was, who's a random? Oh, this is from. Oh, this must be a replacement counter for Tarawa. I've obviously never moved it. I think it was marked that it had the wrong beach, didn't it? So, well, he's not any good, really, is he? Well, let's just say that you've established your HQ, and your HQ's here, and then you establish it here, right? What he was doing, my understanding was that you could garrison first. That was first. You looked and see if you could garrison. So if this was a command post, you could garrison this hex. But if I'm about to make this a command post, can I make that a command post and then say, then I'm going to garrison this hex? I didn't think you could do that. Although just looking up at the sequence of play there, it has it in the order place, increase, like place HQ command posts, then place garrison markers. So that tends to make me feel like it. And yet it's the other way around in the sequence of play in the rulebook. So I'm going to leave that one there if somebody wants to, about the 33-minute mark there, somebody wants to answer that. Does it matter what order you do it? Can you establish an HQ command post and then convert garrisons within its range of 1? When you convert it, it's going to have a range of 1. Can you do that first and then convert a garrison? Or does it have to be established as you go into the HQ phase to then place the garrison? I think I'm making that clear enough, hopefully. Okay, I'll leave that for now, and if I don't get an answer to that, then I'll look more into it come the time, because we're not there yet. We're still on turn 6, so we've got another turn or 2. Right, and then finally, one thing that was in my thoughts here, and I'd like to, again, I suppose, I'm getting lazy, I'm leaving these things in the video for people to answer my questions for me. I think this is okay, but give me something. Got this guy, let's just say we've got this guy here, right, and we want to move him. Is the move from here to here, now, a lot of games, I don't think it's going to tell me about road, does it? Does it tell you anything about road? It's got a 3. Ignore effects of other terrain on movement when entering a hex. See? It is making it clear there. Well, he's been doing that wrong then as well. I wondered about that. It says ignore effects of other terrain on movement when entering a hex through a hex side crossed by a road. So with that, I'm right in saying, and this is what I was going to ask, that for me moving from here to here, I'm moving from a jungle hex into a jungle hex that's on a road, right? But I think because the road's not come from there, then I need to stop. I can't then use my extra 2 movement points. Whereas if I was here and I'm moving up the road from jungle hex to jungle hex, then it's clear I can then move 3 hexes. So there is the question. If I move from there to there, do I have to stop? What I'm saying Eric was doing is 1, 2, 3. And I thought, is that right? Because most games wouldn't allow that because you're not from the road. So let me know what you think about that one as well. Although looking at the terrain chart there, it seems to me it's clear that you ignore the effects of other terrain on movement when entering a hex through a hex side crossed by a road. But if you weren't crossing it by a road, then you still take that penalty into consideration, I think. Anyway, let me know. No, please. Okay, I'm 36 minutes in now. We're on the second event card. So let's just do that. Oh yeah, no, the other thing I was cringing about was this down here. Because I know I had talked about making this sort of random attack. Oh, it was on the brown position. We had 2 little units in there. And then they both got hit in the Japanese fire phase. They're dead now. But at the time, it was costing me an action to do it. But I made this foolish move in moving this guy, spending an action on this guy to move on from there to there. When I moved one of these other guys that was getting a free move into here, all I needed to do was preservation move this guy into this hex. And I wouldn't have needed that. I wasted an action, basically. And the action that I wasted, and I know this is after the fact, isn't it? It's like in hindsight, was I could have used it to attack that position. Now, it might have backfired on us, but we at least would have got a look at that counter, you know? And what happened after that was the Japanese just wiped these 2 units out. So now I've not really got that option. So I think I'm going to just hold off on that, although clearly the temptation is to try and I feel like I should move into this hex because purple itself isn't even firing into there, you know, so there's no intense fire in that hex. Yeah, there's only brown steady fire that we have to worry about, which at the moment is disrupted, but admittedly sitting in there for long enough you're going to get hit. But of course, the other possibility is if you've got one of the infantry headquarters units in there, and then it's even less likely to get hit. But you're tying up that hex the whole game, and to be honest, it's not giving you any points, is it? No, it's not. But these are all in the intense purple round about it, so it's, I mean, what do you do there? Am I better just backing off from it completely and leaving it? I don't know. Right, anyway, okay. Right, I'm going to draw a second event and let's at least get something done. Okay, so second event, this is turn 6, isn't it? So turn 6, the depth marker, 1 Japanese unit. Okay. So what have we got? Looking for something adjacent. I think that's only adjacent there, and it's got depth. Yeah, so next within 2, that's got depth. This blue one that's moved along here has not got depth, so I think that's maybe going to be that, isn't it? Let me just double check. Again, see, I like to just take a bit more time with these and make sure, rather than you make a mistake like that and then it messes up good style for me, like I say. So closest hexes to US unit. Yeah, I think it's him. He's 2 away. This brown position down there's got depth. So it's that, but that's 3 away anyway. So he's 2 away, he's got depth. He's adjacent, he's got depth. Yeah. So there's a blue position there. The one that just came down with a redeploy. A3. So there we go. Right, so that was the second event. So there's still no HQ phase. So we're in the US action phase. The bit that's going to hurt my head. And going to have to decide what to do. Right, let me get some... Yeah, that was our frustrating thing about the way Eric deals with things. He doesn't do my system. He sometimes put cubes on when the units had an action or whatever, but sometimes he doesn't do it to them all, and you get a bit confused to what's going on a bit. But I mean, I suppose as long as he knows what he's doing. But then there was some errors that crept into that side of it as well. Right, I've got a couple of units disrupted, so let me take the disruption off. Right, okay, so that's the disruption removed. So what are we going to do here? Are we going to... The fact that purple's still firing into there doesn't really matter if we occupy that or not, does it? I mean, if we, for some way, maybe occupy and then take the tank out, if we move into there, we're intense green and brown, aren't we? It seems rather silly, this. Just, I think I should just move out of that now and... I mean, I do want to keep this hex, because this would be... Oh, hold on. I'm telling a lie. We would get a point for that, wouldn't we? Yeah, we would. Because it's not intense fire into that hex. Yeah, second requirement for securing the hex 16.2 is it doesn't need to be intense. Position is secure if all three are met. The position hex is occupied by a US unit or garrison. All position hexes projecting intense field of fire into that hex are also occupied by US units or garrisons. US communication can be traced from the position. Tell you what, that could be a point. I don't think we're going to be able to trace communication because purple fires into all these hexes round about. Don't. Even fires into here. So, no, you're not going to be able to do... That's not going to be secure. Yes, it's not intense fire. We could have it occupied. We're never going to be able to garrison it while brown's firing into there. But we can't trace US communication. That tells you just to get out there then, Grant, really. So what is this? This would be a free move. Okay, let me try and pause a bit more before I decide what I'm going to do. Right, okay, so I'm going to move these two. Oh yeah, they were getting a free action anyway, Grant, because that's where the HQ is. I think I'm going to move... where am I going to move these though? Right, hold on. I feel like moving this range guy into here. I don't know, just... If this was to advance again, I think it would advance into this hex, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we would have a couple of units here, maybe. Oh no, this isn't going to advance again though, Grant. It's going to fire and take these guys out, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to put that there. I'm just going to move these back, I think. That's annoying. So I'm going to move this one, 1, 2, 3. Well, hang on. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna just start doing some things that without thinking too much into it. I think 1, 2, 3. Now he wasn't going through intense fire there, and then this is going to go as well. 1, 2, 3. So what else we got? What, this is a tank, isn't it? Ooh, can we not attempt to barrage on that? But we're sitting in intense purple though. You're not better just getting out of there, Grant. Yeah, I'm gonna move these both 1, 2 into here, and then just move the HQ back. One. I think I was thinking like that, yeah, because these guys they've got an action they can move from. Right, and then he's still sitting here, but I mean, I would still like to try and keep these two if I can, but it depends what happens here. I think, purple's eventually going to fire in there and get a triangle and hit us, isn't it? Well, it's just the tank that's in there, so at the moment. Right, okay, let's just stick with that for now. Right, now we set ourselves up here to make this dash up to this red position, didn't we? So I suppose we should be set to do that. I remember watching one of Eric's comments was, if you stack two of these stars together and dash them up to things like that, remember they don't get hit in intense fire unless the star symbol's on the card, which is, the odds of that are pretty good. It's an interesting way of thinking about it, but right. So this guy's ranged. Yeah, we had 3 that can move. They can all move by themselves. So I don't really want to go into this yellow, but remember this tank actually stretches its fire into these hexes anyway. So it stretches it into there, doesn't it? And then there's the purple here. It's kind of horrible, isn't it? So I'm going to be moving within 3 of the tank. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's where they could all go. But then hold on, what's the point of having that guy there, Grant? Because he's then not able to move adjacent. So you kind of have to use that purple position, don't you? Yeah. So 1, 2, and then he's got to stop. And then 1, 2, go to stop. And then this guy. I don't know if this is clever or not. I'm not so sure it is. Right, now you've left these 2 empty, so we'll probably do something about that. Well, these have got a free action. This guy would not get a free action. Is it worthwhile taking one of the tanks up there? The tank could be in command and be 3 away. 1, 2, 3. HQ could move to there. But hold on. Well, I'm still going to have to move up 1 anyway. So, okay. Let's move the tank into there then. Yeah, because it's got to stop in there. Okay. Let's come on. Let's come back to that a bit. Just right. Have we got something here? Yes, we do. Look. So they can both attack. That's for 10, and we've got a hero on that guy. Do we have some? Do we have some tanks in here? No. This guy's range, but he's too far away. Tank in here? Yes. Right. So this is getting doubled. The unit is in jungle. What did I say this was? This is nothing, right? So that would be 10. We could put another 3 in and potentially have 13. We potentially have 14 if we use the hero. If this is a 3, it gets doubled to a 6. 14 would work, but what did I say? 10. So you kind of do want to use that tank then, don't you, Grant? Okay, let's do that then, shall we? Does mean that can I occupy that way, anybody? That HQ unit. Well, this engineer unit. Do I want to occupy it? Oh yes, I do. Very much so. Well, that engineer would be fine in there. Well, hang on. These guys can go 1, 2, 3 actually. Okay. I mean, we're getting carried away here because it's unlikely we're just going to take everything out here. Mind, we can do that. That was confirmed. John Brown confirmed that. Yeah, there was a few comments by John. I'm sure some of them will come to mind as I'm moving on. I have replied to everything up to now, I think. Yeah, he was just confirming that after turn 5, from turn 5, if you get strength of double or more, then the unit is eliminated and the death marker as well is eliminated. Assuming that you've got the weapons and have at least double. I also confirmed that, yeah, we don't need to put these units in here. It was only for the use for the Japanese Knight turn, and the fact that it's only elite units that use that now. They've done away with that to try and make it easier. I think if they done away with the rule about that disruption removal, that might have helped a bit more than that. But anyway, okay, let's do. What did I say? 10. Potential 11 if we need the hero. And then, now hold on. Yeah, the tank's in command, so I think it's okay. Again, I need to just double check. Tank units must be within range, yeah. And at least one of the following must be true. The tank unit is in command of any HQ. That's the one I'm reading out, because that's the one that's relevant. And yeah, there's no real point using them for anything else anyway. So he's going to put his 3 strength in there as well. Now, although that's coming through brush, I'd say another thing Eric seemed to be getting wrong. It's a tank unit. It's not reduced. So 10, 13, possibly 14. So let's see what we've got. This is going to be doubled. I was just so careful with us. Right, well. Okay, so flank and bazooka, well, we needed the... did we? Yeah, actually we did, because it is a 3. Right, we don't have the weapons. But he's doubled to a 6, and we've got 13. I could, yeah. Remember, the hero can be used to cover the flanking requirement. So I could use the hero for 1 extra strength. Don't need to, so we're still getting double, yeah. So he's disrupted. And he's an elite as well. So probably going to escape when we eventually get him. If we eventually get him. Well, the fact that he's needing flanked, can we get in here? No, see, because this is a jungle hex. So you can't move 1, 2 into there, or I can't even move 1, 2 into there. I mean, yeah, I could move 1, 2 into there, but that's a bit suicidal. So we've just got to bide our time with that, I think, and hopefully, yeah, because this X is full, isn't it? So I just need to wait next turn, move that into there to create the flank, I think. Oh well. There's so much for that. Moving up then. Oh, we probably should still move something into there though, no? I don't want another triangle, I don't think. So 1, 2, which is fine now. This guy's disrupted mine, so we can move through the intense purple. Yeah, the fact that's disrupted. What are these guys doing? Yeah, they're kind of stuck still as well, aren't they? Well, I could make a bit of space by moving this guy out, I suppose. He's kind of off on his own there, though, which is a bit rubbish. This guy must have been disrupted, wasn't he? Yeah, it's all a bit of a mess, isn't it? It's all a bit congested. Right, I'll move him into there. I'll move him into there. And hold on. Yeah, they're free moves from this HQ. That's fine. I don't want to go here. Yeah, and we kind of can't move this guy now. I mean, I can move that up to there, I suppose. Probably should. Yeah, move that up to there. But yeah, it's this purple position until we want to try and get something here, have a go at him. So I don't think I can really make a move with these. I'd be willing to move that into there if we were able to move something into here right now. But we're not. That's what's causing trouble with that. Right, I'm going to move this guy 1, 2 along into there, I think. He was getting a free move as well. Yeah, I'm not sure where I want to go with them. 1. Maybe just put them up into there just now. If I go 1, 2 into there with them, maybe. And then move this into here. No. Engineer would be better off into there, wouldn't he? But then where do they guys go? No. Well, we're putting this HQ, Grant. Well, these are fine on their own. Oh, maybe I will put these along here. I don't know if I've got enough. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's go. Let's try that. 1, 2 into there. And then the HQ is going to move 2 into there as well. Yeah. That grabs pretty much most of everything, doesn't it? And yeah, these are kind of stuck. I think I'm just going to leave these. Because I can't even get them in here. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck there. We've not used any actions in Minecraft, so this guy could be doing something. I don't want to abandon that. Is there anything back here I was going to do? Not really. I think this is all done, isn't it? Yeah, in fact, I think the only thing left to do is maybe move this guy, but... Oops. Maybe into there, where I just dropped him. That's Jungle Grant, so no, you won't be doing that. He was there, wasn't he? 1, 2, 3. Then he's out of command, though. So we'll maybe just put him in there as well, then. Right, okay. Try not to ponder on it too much there. Yeah, actually quite surprised I managed to squeeze that into just an hour after it was about 30 odd minutes plus just blathering away about something. Ooh, wait a minute. Well, I don't think he can move anywhere. No. The HQ going to stay where it is. Yeah, because this is, well, yeah, it's better staying where it is, I think. Yeah, well, we couldn't plant anything yet anyway. That's not until turn 8. Is it? Yes, HQ, skipping turn 1 to 7. Yeah, we're on turn 6. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So sorry, that was one action I used on that guy, wasn't it? I do still have an action, but I don't really have the use for it, sadly. Right, I'll go with that. I'll straighten everybody up. Right, just before I do, I think I've made a blunder here, have I not? Well, the unit is on his own. I think my intention had been to move the two, there was 2 5 strength units, whether it's these two or not. I think it was. Were they not in here or here, maybe? No, they couldn't have been in there. I think they were maybe in here, actually. And I think my intention was to have 2 of these guys with leaders and then put 2 normal ones in there. Just, I mean, if this fires, it hits one of these. If it gets depth, then it hits 2 of these. Remember, it's not hitting the stars. So it basically freezes 2. And if we had... Well, it'd be closest, wouldn't it? But I mean, no, it's most steps first, Grant, isn't it? So it's going to hit both of these. If it gets depth, it's going to hit the 2 7 strength units, isn't it? Yeah. I can't really do any more than that, I don't think. If one of these, if I'd put 2 5 strength units instead of a 7, it would hit one of the 7s, one of the 5s, but then you would have 2 5s going forward still. And then, of course, they move into there, and then if it hits again, I just sort of feel like I maybe should have... Well, the other bad thing about putting it in that one is, well, it doesn't need to be that one, it could be this one. Purple could get lucky here, you know. And we're about to get the P action next turn as well. Purple then could patrol and disrupt everything. I need to look back on where things were. I feel like if I could maybe change these over. 1, 2, 3. I think I could do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to have to go and look, though, to make sure. Well, no, hang on. All of these had just moved up 1, hadn't they? So let's not have moved that guy. There. Well, I think that's what hex was he in. Well, it must have been in that one. That was in there. No, we weren't in purple. So there was one in there. He must have been in there, I think. And then these guys, I think, came from there going 1, 2, 3. Problem is, and that's then an action, isn't it? You've got that as well. Maybe you should just leave it the way it was, Grant. Oh, I'm just going to move it back, actually. So I put them there, didn't I? I mean, yeah, the other good thing is these are, well, they're only ranged. They're only ranged while they're on that four-step side, Grant. So if they get hit, they're not ranged anymore. So that doesn't really... Right, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's too much thinking going on here. It's starting to hurt my head. If I want to move on with this game, I need to do some daft things, I think, probably. Or it's never going to get finished. Right. Actually, I'm starting to turn everybody back round here. It doesn't matter. That's my turn finished. Just I could get the video switched off here and get it uploaded. So we've done everything there. Because I wouldn't mind watching back on that. The card's going to get discarded. We don't need to shuffle. We are going to move on to turn 7. It brings the P action in, increases the catastrophic loss to 14. Any increase in that is going to be good for us. And then our turn marker's moved on, phase marker moves along. We do have 1 unit to land. Okay, so I'll be back in the next part quite soon, hopefully. Cheers.